Hello everybody, today we're talking about the nutrients that provide energy for your body. The first one is carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are your body's main source of energy. Its biggest job is just to supply energy for your body, energy for exercise, energy just to stay alive and have the normal body functions take place. It also helps your body use protein and fat efficiently so that they can do their jobs. If you don't have enough carbohydrates, your body's going to next go to the protein that you've taken in during the day for energy, and that leaves protein without being able to do its job. And if you don't take enough carbs or protein in for your energy, then your body's going to go to the fat that you take in for the day, and so then fat can't do its job. And then the last step that your body will go to is the stored fat in your body and use that for energy. Fiber is one of the types of carbohydrates we'll talk about here in a little bit, but fiber is essential for digestion. It helps you move the waste through your body effectively. If you don't get enough carbohydrates, it can cause fatigue, which makes sense. If you don't have your body's main source of energy, it's going to make you feel tired and not have a whole lot of energy. It can also cause digestive problems. More specifically, if you don't have enough fiber, you won't be able to have the waste move through your body as efficiently as it should. If you get too much, it's going to cause weight problems. Basically, your body looks at that as potential energy for the future if you don't get enough. So it'll store those extra carbohydrates in your body as fat, so you'll gain weight, and then any diseases that go along with that. Now, there are a lot of diets out there that would like you to believe that if you eat any carbohydrates, you're automatically going to gain weight. But that's not really true. What you take in, you're going to use for energy. It's the extras that you don't use that will be stored, and that will cause you to gain weight. Sources of carbohydrates. Now, there are 3 different types of carbohydrates. We're going to break it down into each type. The first type is starch, and those sources of starch would be things like breads and cereals. You get starch from corn and potatoes. The second type of carbohydrate is sugar. And we're really looking more at the natural sugars. So your natural sugar in fruit, which is called fructose. Natural sugar in vegetables, natural sugar in milk, which is called lactose. And then, of course, fiber. You're going to have more fiber in whole grain products, so whole grain breads, cereals, pastas. And there's a lot of advertising right now to promote the whole grain products. Whole grain products are going to have more fiber, but it's also going to have more nutrients in it as well. So when they are processing those grains, if they leave more of the grain there, it's going to allow you to keep all of the fiber and the nutrients. As they start processing it down to make white flour, to make white bread, you lose a lot of those nutrients and a lot of the fiber. Other sources of fiber would be fruits and vegetables. The second nutrient that can provide energy to your body is fat. But remember, your body's going to go to carbohydrates first, protein second, and fat's kind of its third choice. And that's the fat that you're taking in your diet. Stored fat is its fourth choice. Benefits: it supplies energy if needed, but it also has a lot of other jobs. It provides all the essential fatty acids that are needed in the body. It also carries the fat-soluble vitamins through your body. You need some fat in your diet to be able to use any of the fat-soluble vitamins. If you would cut out all the fat in your diet, you wouldn't be able to use the fat-soluble vitamins. So your body would just be unable to process those and use them. Now, for Americans, we tend to get more fat than we need, so we need to watch and make sure we're not getting too much. Yes, you can't completely eliminate it, but you can make sure it's in the safe amounts that you actually need. All right, so if you get too little fat, it can cause dermatitis, so some skin, your skin won't be as healthy. It could cause skin inflammation, so rashes and things that would possibly come from not having enough fat to keep your skin healthy. If you get too much, it can cause you to be overweight. So again, your body looks at that as potential energy for the future and will store it as fat. And so anything that would go along with that being overweight, those kind of illnesses, would also go with having too much fat. A lot of high-fat foods are also high in cholesterol, so having a high cholesterol it would be another issue that would go along with having too much fat. Too much fat can also increase your risk of certain types of cancer. Now we're looking at sources. There are two types of sources of fat. There's the unsaturated fats, which come from things like fish and vegetable oils, olive oil, margarine. The unsaturated fats are the healthier types of fat. So you want to may have more of your fat that you take in come from unsaturated sources. Saturated fats are coming from things like meat and coconut oil. They are less healthy, so you want to limit the amount of saturated fat you're taking in. And then the third and last potential energy source is protein. Protein's job is to help build up and repair body tissues. So as you're exercising and you need to build up the muscle tissues, as they break down and rebuild, you need protein to be able to do that. It also helps make your antibodies, which are important to help fight off illness. And it helps maintain the water balance along with our electrolytes that we talked about before. And then it provides the essential amino acids. You need all of the amino acids for protein to do its job. And of course, we'll get back to that here in a minute too. So if you get too little protein, your body is not going to be able to build up the muscle tissue as it breaks down. So you'll have poor muscle tone, slower recovery from illness. Your body's not going to be able to fight off that illness as well. And for kids, it can cause stunted growth because they're growing so quickly. If they don't have the protein to help build up those tissues, they won't be able to grow as well as they should. Now, if you get too much, again, it's stored as fat. Your body looks at that as potential energy for the future if you don't get enough. And so it will store it in your body and you will gain weight. And of course, there'll be all of those illnesses that go along with having too much, being overweight. Some sources of protein, there again are two different types. There's complete proteins, which would have all of the amino acids that you need for the day. And so those would be from animal foods. And the only plant product that you can get all of your amino acids from is soy products. So a lot of times you'll see soy in meat replacements for people who are vegetarians because they have all of those amino acids that are needed. The incomplete proteins have one or two or a couple of the amino acids, but they don't have all of them. So if you are getting your protein only from plant sources, then you need to make sure that you're eating the right combinations to be able to get all of the amino acids to stay healthy. So plant foods, cereals, grains are good sources of protein. Vegetables, there are a lot of things that are really good. But again, you have to watch to make sure you're getting the right combinations. And so we'll be talking a little bit more and working with the protein, fat, and carbohydrates in future days. If you have any questions, again, let me know, and have a wonderful day.